So I see this thing on CNN, and as you know, for the last 2 weeks, everybody's been upset with CNN. Why? Because they hosted the town hall debate with President Donald Trump, and a lot of people are very upset by that. Now, how do you give a platform from this guy? And he kind of schooled them at several times during that debate, and the crowd that was there kind of was cheering him on. And so CNN walks out with egg on its face saying, oh my gosh, and all the rank and file at CNN, the newsroom, and then the regular employees that are in research, marketing, finance, behind the scenes, running the company, they were also upset. And Chris Licht was having to go out and say, wait, this is our job. We have to cover this. It's not about giving a platform or not giving a platform. We're about to elect a new president, and this guy is a candidate on the Republican side, and the polls are saying he's actually the front-running candidate, so we got to do this. This is our job. And I think there's some real sensibility in that. And Chris Licht saying it's just my job. But also what was going on is his boss, David Zaslav, and David Zaslav, who is the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, and CNN is inside that group, he had a terrible weekend. He goes to Boston University. They invite him in to do a commencement. Now, meanwhile, he's walking into this during a writer's strike where the people that work in entertainment or other places in life are siding with the writers and saying, hey, the media corporations are, keeping their thumb down on these writers, and they need a new contract, and AI is coming, and they think they're just going to write, ChatGPT is just going to write sitcoms. This is terrible, and they're all out there, and the writers are on strike, looking for reassurances, looking for, if I write something creative and it's my creative, and then you use ChatGPT to make 10 episodes, wait. That's my creative, that's my storyline, that's my construct. And so you can't just take that and do it. We want reasonable assurances and contracts, blah, 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 blah. So on one hand, Zaslav has got Warner, Discovery, every network has got these writers on strike, and it's really at a boiling point in Los Angeles. So here with that in the background, going on here with all of his networks, then the network he's trying to turn around, CNN, right, is in the midst of this incredible employee reaction, and Chris Licht is there with people just throwing, flaming balls of words at him, because of what's going on, and they're angry about the town hall with Trump. He goes to Boston University. So David Zaslav goes to Boston University to encourage students and to give a commencement speech. And when he did that this weekend, did you see this, Kellyanne? He had what can be described as an unfun time.
Oh boy. It's
basically, he walked in to an episode of Duck Dynasty carrying a case of Bud Light. That's what happened, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
So he goes there in this, and they booed him. You can go look it up. It's not important what happened. They booed him. Every time he tried to speak about something, they booed louder. There were times during his commencement address,
Yikes.
He's talking about have vision for the future and do this, and they booed even louder to the point that he had to pause at several times and wait for them to finish. So what's the lesson for us? Because with all that going on, I thought it was kind of interesting, and I said, there's got to be a lesson in here. And that's what I was thinking about Harley-Davidson and them turning around. I was thinking about CNN and them trying to turn around right now, and the writer's strike. And what I've pretty much, as I step back and look at it, is this. You can get away with having bad reviews for your product, or you can get away with having a leadership crisis and bad morale at your company, but you can't get away with both. If you've got Yelp ratings that are at 1, and you've got Google ratings that are at 1, and you've got people that are upset and your employee morale is down, maybe it's because of a leader you have in product or in sales, or it's you, and you have to come to terms with the fact that your advisors or people you trust are telling you, hey, it's your leadership. That's why you have morale problems and now you've got your customers saying, so you can have a problem with morale or you can have a problem with product, but you can't have both. And right now CNN's got both. And here's the lesson for us. What do you do about it? The answer is you need to be aware of your leadership and what's happening with you and your company. Number one. And number two, you have to, in terms of morale, in terms of how are people really feeling? Because if it's in the middle of a recession and you can only give out 3% raises and you manage to keep your health plan and you hear morale is low, you got to get out and talk to them and say, look, I'm trying to keep us afloat and I'm trying to give basic raises and keep our healthcare benefits and fight with the healthcare benefit company about them raising it on us. And I'm trying to keep it going. Bring people into it so they can see with authenticity what you're trying to do. So if that's something of your leadership there, if your leadership has got some other issue where maybe you didn't get along with someone who turned out to be a really popular product person, you couldn't deal with their ego, but they had the loyalty of their people, and you haven't skipped a level to go down there to make sure you have relationships, and that person leaves, now the morale is on you, can't do that. As a leader, you have to make sure that you're going top to bottom in your organization. Because only then, if you suddenly have a product problem, and CNN certainly has a product problem right now, they got people on the outside who are upset with CNN because they became oh so liberal. I don't watch it anymore. I'm looking for something down the middle. And then you've got, people that were on CNN that were let go. We all know what happened to Cuomo and everything else that went on, and you've got an assortment of product-oriented issues, and you're trying to fix product. You can't do both at once. You need your people to be with you in times of recession and when you all say, folks, we have to change this product and we have to change it now because people don't like it and it's not what people want. If you don't have your people under you, you can't change the product. If you're trying to change the product when you got a morale issue, that's exactly what's going on at CNN. So you can have employee morale problem and a product problem, but you can't have both. And that's what's going on right now. And so for you and me, know your people, conduct skip level meetings, make sure you're aware of what is the pulse at your company. So when a recession hits, it's some uncertain time in the future, like now, inflation hits like now, changes are happening to the whole economy like now. We're going to talk about some sectors in a minute. You've got your people under you to come together in a huddle and say, look, we got to fix product. We got some things we need to do, but it's us, not me. It's not me versus you. It's us. And I'm going to maintain some raises. I'm going to maintain what's going on with our benefits. I'm going to do everything I can. Now let's go after our product because we're a little bit behind the times. And we're going to talk about Foot Locker in terms of that. Or the economy is behind and we're in a tough sector. We're going to talk about trucking in just a second about that. But right now, I think the message is clear. CNN is completely upside down. Either Chris Licht is going to be allowed to change the product, or if the morale is just cratered, you know what David Zaslav has to say, Chris, I'm sorry. It may not be your fault, or it may be on me. It's on me, Chris, not on you. It's on me, but you got to go. And I need to put in a different leader as we continue to work on the product. Because no one can deny that the product that is CNN, their overall product right now, sucks. It is not neutral, it is not gaining traction, and the ratings are showing it that Americans don't dig it.